Today we are doing Mathematics Paper 1 Non-Calculator Higher Tier. Let me start with the first question. Write 500 as a product of power of its prime factors. If we do it by factor tree method, then 500, according to the factor tree method, you have to make two branches. On the first branch, you have to write the smallest prime number that can divide the given number, and on the second one, it will be the number divided by the prime number that we have selected. That means for 500, I have to make two branches, one here and one here. I need to select the smallest prime number that can divide 500, which is 2. So I'll write 2 here. And when I'll write the prime number, I need to encircle it right away. So encircling 2 right here. On the other branch, I need to write the number, which is 500, the given number, over the prime number that we have selected. So the answer is 250. 500 over 2 is 250. On first, I need to write the smallest prime number that can divide 250, which is 2. And encircle it right away. On the second half, you have to write the number, that is 250 that we have, over 2, that is the prime number that we have selected. So 250 over 2, which is 125. This 125 will again be divided into two branches. We have to select the smallest prime number that can divide 125, which is 5. Encircle it. And on another, you have to write 125 over 5, which is 25. Now again, split 25 into two parts. This one and this one. I have to write the smallest prime number here, which is 5, and circle it. And 25 over 5 is 5. This is your prime number, so encircle it right away. Now just multiply all the encircled prime numbers, which is 5 into 5 into 5 into 2 into 2. But it says product of powers. Powers, that means you have to write in indices form, exponent form. So how many 5 are there? 3. So 5 to the power of 3. And how many 2's are there? 2. So multiplied by 2 to the power of 2. That's your final answer. Next question. Work out 1 3 by 5 plus 2 1 by 4. And you have to give your answer as a mixed number. So 1 3 by 5 plus 2 1 by 4, that means clearly you need to convert it into improper fraction. This is a mixed fraction which you need to convert into improper. That means same multiplied 5 into 1 and add 3. So this will be 8 by 5 and this will be 9 over 4. Whenever we add fractions, see, I have seen that even in Gcse year 10, year 11, the kids really face problem while adding the fractions. It's very simple. First, even if it's given in mixed fraction, you need to convert into improper fraction, just like how I did. The second thing is the denominator should be same. And how can you make denominator same? By finding the LCM of the denominators. And 5 and 4, the LCM of 5 and 4 is 20. Your next try should be how to make the denominators 20. By multiplying it with 4, multiplying this with 4. In this way. So whatever you are multiplying with denominator, the same thing you have to do with the numerator. So multiplying by 4 with denominator, so same multiply 4 with numerator. How can you make 4 20? By multiplying it with 5. And same do it here. Now this will become 8 4 32 over 20 plus 45 over 20. Clearly, once you have the same fraction, just add the numerators. 32 plus 45 over 20. That will give you 77 over 20. Your final answer is 77 over 20, but it says give your answer in a mixed fraction. So simple. Just by looking at it, it's very simple for me to convert, but if you don't know, you have to do 77 over 20. So 23, 60, remaining is 17. That means 20 is denominator, so write 20 denominator as it is. This quotient will go here and remainder will go up there. This is your mixed fraction. Now B. It says show that 2 over 3 divided by 6 is 4 by 9. Again, you have a mixed fraction which you are supposed to convert into improper fraction. So this one will be converted into improper fraction. That will give you 3 times 2 6 plus 2 8. 8 over 3 divided by 6. You have to show, so just forget right hand side because you need to equate left hand side and right hand side. So I'm just solving left hand side, and after solving all that up, I need to check whether it is resembling with the right hand side or not. Now we know whenever we divide two fractions, the second fraction, that is the number after the division, will become reciprocal. Reciprocal, that means the numerator and denominator will swap each other. So if I say 6, 6 can be written as 6 over 1. And then reciprocating, that means swapping. So it will become 1 by 6. And the division sign will be converted into multiplication sign. So I'll need to write 8 over 3 as it is. This division sign will change into multiplication. And 6 will be reciprocal. So now if you cancel it out, you can clearly see 4 over 9. So final answer is 4 over 9. Now it says simplify 2 to the power of minus 5 into 2 to the power of 8 whole squared. So in this you have to apply two different rules. First rule of indices, which is a to the power of m into a to the power of n, where you need to add a plus the powers you need to add a to the power of m plus n. Same I'll do it 2 to the power of, since base is same, so I'll keep 2 as it is and add the powers minus 5 plus 8, but there is a whole square above it as well. So this will become 2 to the power of 3 whole squared. Now we know the second rule. It's actually third rule basically, which is a to the power of m whole to the power of n. If there is a power over another power, you need to multiply them together, which is a to the power of m into n. So this will become a to the power of 3 into 2, which is a to the 2 to the power of 6. That's your final answer. So I'll write 2 to the power of 6 as my final answer. Let me see question number 4. Work out 0.004 into 0.32. That means what you need to do is, this is multiplication, and the simplest thing is if you will remove this decimal and convert it into integer. So 0.004 can be written as 4 into 10 to the power of minus 3 into 0.32 is 32 into 10 to the power of minus 2. We know multiply the numbers and integers and integers together. 32 times 4 will give you 128. And 10 to the power of minus 3 into 10 to the power of minus 2 is, since base 10 is same, add the powers. Minus 3 plus minus 2 is minus 5. So this will become minus 5. Either write it like this, or you can convert into standard form. When you convert in standard form, what is a standard form? A number and just a digit and a decimal after it. That means 128 will be written as 1.28. If I'm converting 128 into 1.28, this can be written as 1.28 into 10 to the power of 2. 128 or 1.28 into 10 to the power of 2 is exactly the same. And multiplied by 10 to the power of minus 5 is already there, which is 1.28 into 10 to the power of minus 3 is your final answer. So I can write 1.28 into 10 to the power of minus 3. That's your final answer. Or if you want to write it in a decimal form, because in the question they have already given it in this way, so you can write 0.00128. In either way, you can write down your answer. A car factory is going to make 4 different car models A, B, C and D. 80 people are asked which of the 4 models they would be most likely to buy. The table shows the information about the results, and that's given. The factory is going to make 40,000 cars next year. Work out how many model B cars the factory should make next year. See, that means you first need to calculate how many people are going to purchase, and accordingly they will make that model. If I say there are 100 people and out of 100, 20 will purchase a particular thing, that means 20% will be the you can say the people that will actually going to purchase. So suppose a company is producing different types of item out of that 20% will be fixed. That particular set of people will purchase that. That means simply what you need to do, you just first need to calculate what percent of people are actually going to purchase B. 15 out of 80. So what percent is it? 50 over 80 into 100. Or if you don't want to convert into percent, what fraction you can calculate. So what fraction of people are going to purchase? 15 over 80. If you just simplify it, you'll get 3 over 16. That means 3 out of 16. If there are 16 people, 3 will be the person that are going to purchase the B. So if the factory is going to make 40,000 cars next year, work out how many model B cars the factory should make. That means B car will be purchased by 3 over 16th fractions of people. So you can simply say that 40,000, if there are total 40,000 cars, out of it 3 over 16th fraction will be the cars for B. 7500. That means if they are making 40,000, if they are producing 40,000 cars, out of that model B should be 7,500. Now Rizwan writes down 3 numbers A, B and C, and their ratio is given as A ratio B is 1:3, B ratio C is 6:5, and you have to calculate A ratio B ratio C. See, one thing is that if you have a letter common, so what you need to do is you need to make that common as well. Clearly B is common. If I write this is A ratio B is 1:3 and B ratio C is 6:5. Clearly this B and this B is common. That means I need to make this and this corresponding same. 3 and 6 can be made same by, you can make them same by finding their LCM, and LCM of 3 and 6 is 6, which means I need to multiply it with 2. And if I'm multiplying it with 2, I need to do it here as well, because in mathematics whatever you are doing with one numerator, you have to do same with denominator. If you are something multiplying to right hand side, you have to do to the left hand side as well, because it will keep the balance. So final ratio will become A ratio B will be 2:6 and B ratio C will be 6:5. That means A ratio B ratio C, because since I made the 6 same, this will become 2:6:5. So your final answer is going to be 2:6:5. Express A as a fraction of the total of 3 numbers A, B and C. Simple. This is not actual number. In fractions we can directly put it, but A, B, C, don't say that A is 2, B is 6 and C is 5. No, they are just ratio, which means if I say A is 2 and B is 4, their ratio will be 1:2. So I can't say A is 1 because actually A is 2. Fraction ratios are different. So fraction is also a simplified one and ratio is also simplified one. That's why A as a fraction of total of ABC. So either I can do directly like this, or let me explain you the conventional way. As I told you that 2, 6, 5 are not the actual numbers, they are just ratios. So if you want to find the actual number, always multiply it with x. So A is going to be 2x, B is going to be 6x and C is going to be 5x. So what you can do? It says A as a fraction of total of ABC. That means A over A plus B plus C they are asking. This is 2x over 2x plus 6x plus 5x, which is 2x equals 13x. Cancel x and x, you will get answer as 2 over 13. Or in case of fractions, you can directly put the answer like A is 2 and add them up, 5 plus 6 plus 2, 13. Because it's a fraction, that's why. But I'm not saying, still I'll be saying same thing. A is not equals to 2. It's just a ratio. Now, Emma writes down three numbers M, N and P. N is 2M, P is 5M. Find the ratio M ratio P. Whenever you are finding a fraction, a ratio, they should be in same format. That means if you are dividing two things, they should be same. I can't divide kg divided by gram, okay, and get a ratio. A unitless ratio you can't get. When you're dividing two different units, then the final answer will not be a unitless, will not be a number just. Similarly, if it says M ratio P, you can't just directly find the answer until you convert all of them into same format. That means let me convert P into in terms of M as well. N is 2M, P is 5N. So first put the value of N here. P is equals to 5N. N is already given as 2M. So in place of N put 2M. So P is equals to 10M. Now I have converted them into the same form. M is in terms of M already and P is in terms of M as well. So now if I divide M ratio P, M is just M and P is 10M. That means M over 10M. Cancel it out. Answer is 1 over 10 or 1 ratio 10. That's your final answer. A storage tank exerts a force of 10,000 newtons on the ground. The base of the tank in contact with the ground is a 4 meter by 2 meter rectangle. Work out the pressure on the ground due to the tank. So there is a storage tank that is exerting a force that's given. You need to calculate pressure, though we already know because in physics also we have this. Simply what you need to do, you just need to calculate the area. Area of what? That surface which is in contact of the ground, or that surface which is actually exerting the force, which is the bottom one. And they have given the base of the tank is 4 by 2 rectangle. So what's the area of that rectangle? Area of rectangle is base times length times width. In base it's length times width, which is 4 times 2, which is 8 meter squared. Force is what? 10,000. So simple, as it's given, pressure is equals to force by area. Force is 10,000, area is 8. If you divide it, you'll get answer as 1250. Answer is 1250 Newton per meter squared. 1250. It says two numbers M and N are such that M is a multiple of 5, N is an even number, and the highest common factor of M and N is 7. Write down the possible values of M and N. So two numbers M and N. M is a multiple of 5 and N is an even number, that N and HCF is 7. That means clearly the common factor is 7. So we know HCF is what? If you take out something out as common, that is your HCF. Say for example that M is a multiple of 5. I'm just taking, forget about this question. I'm taking a whole different scenario to explain it to you. M is a multiple of 5. Let me say my M is 15 because it's a multiple of 5. And N is an even number. So N is going to be even number. Suppose I say 20. What is the HCF of them? Factors of 5 are 3 into 5. And N is 5 into 4. Clearly HCF is 5. Okay. If HCF is 5, that means this number 15 over 5 is 3 and this N 20 over 5 is 4. Clearly, it's important thing that if two numbers have HCF something, they both should be the multiple of that HCF. That M is also a multiple of 7. So M is a multiple of 5 and 7. Or if it's a multiple of both, so it will be a multiple of their product if 5 and 7 have nothing in common. So I can say it's a multiple of 35. N is even number and also a multiple of 7. So I can say it's a even multiple of 7. Write down possible values 35, 70, 105, so on. This will be 14, 28, 42 and so on. If you will see 35 and 14, definitely their HCF is 7. So what are the possible values? 35 and 14. Complete the table of the value for y equals 6x minus x cubed. Only you need to substitute the values of x that's already given in the table and find the value of y. So substitute the value as -2 first in place of x. This will be y is equals to 6x minus x cube. In place of x put -2. 6 into -2 minus -2 whole cubed. This is minus 12 minus minus 8. So minus 12 plus 8 is minus 4. Put minus 4 here. Now substitute minus 1. So 6 into -1 minus -1 whole cubed. So minus 6 minus minus 1. So minus 6 plus 1, which is minus 5. Put 0. 0 minus 0 is just 0. And 1, 6 into 1 minus 1 whole cubed. 6 minus 1 is 5. We have completed our table. The next is using all the values that we have calculated and what's given in the table. Plot it on the graph and plot the curve. Minus 3 and 9, that means where x is minus 3 and y is minus 9, which is here. Second is minus 2 and -4. -2 and -4 is here. -1 and -5, so -1 and -5 is here. 0, 0 is here. 1 and positive 5 here. 2 and 4 is here. And 3 and -9 is here. Because it's a curve, so try to draw as curvy as possible. It's a cubic curve. So this will be your final curve. It's going upwards, going downwards. That's your final curve. Lena spins a biased 5-sided spinner 40 times. Here are her results. It means that she got score 1 6 times, score 2 8 times. When she spun it 40 times, she got score 1 6 times, score 2 8 times, and so on. Lena is now going to spin the spinner another 2 times. Work out an estimate for the probability that she gets a score 5 both times. That means what she is expecting, she wants a probability of 5 getting 5 and probability of getting 5. There is a rule that is called AND rule and OR rule. AND probability, wherever it's AND, you need to multiply the probabilities, and when it's OR, you need to add the probabilities. Clearly, it's a case of AND. She wants 5 first and 5 again. So probability of 5 and 5 is simply multiply them together. So what's the probability of getting 5? You can do from this table. She is getting 10 times 5 out of 40. So 10 over 40, that is 1 over 4 is the probability of getting 5. So probability of getting 5 is 1 by 4 times 1 by 4, which comes out to be 1 by 16. So the probability that she will get a 5 and again a 5 is 1 over 16. Derek is going to spin the spinner a large number of times. Work out an estimate for the percent of times Derek can expect to get a score 1. It's very simple. They haven't mentioned how many times he's going to spin. You just need to calculate the percentage. That's given in the table, that they will get 6 times 1 out of 40. So 6 over 40 and just convert into percentage. So 6 over 40 into 100 will give you 15%. So final answer is 15%. Describe fully the single transformation that maps the shape P onto shape Q. Clearly, out of 4 transformation, that is reflection, translation, rotation and enlargement, the only one which changes the size of an object is enlargement or reduction. So it's a case of that. And to calculate or to describe the single transformation, you need to know the center of enlargement as well as the scale factor. We just need to connect the corresponding points. Corresponding points, that means if it's a smaller here, so when it becomes larger, this will be the point here. Okay, that's the corresponding point. This point and this point. So try to join these two. These are, you can pick any two, but obviously the possible map where you can connect them. So just connect it. This is, we have drawn these two lines, 0, 2. So that is your center of enlargement. So what you need to do is, for center of enlargement, join the possible corresponding points. That means that can be joined together. These 2 points are where I can draw the lines, can join them together and can find a intersecting points. After getting the intersecting point, this is going to be your center of enlargement. For scale factor, from here to here, how many squares they have crossed? 1, 2, 3, 4. Like diagonally, they have crossed 4. And from here to same corresponding point here, we have seen this corresponding point. Take this corresponding point from center of enlargement. So it will be, how many blocks it has diagonally crossed? It's 12. That means, because it says shape P onto Q, that means this is your original and this is your new one. It has reduced. So it's going to be 1/3 then. Scale factor is going to be 1/3. Why it's 1/3? Because originally it was 12 units from the center of enlargement, and after the enlargement it was the 3 units from the center of enlargement. So 3/12 will give you 1/3 as your scale factor. This is part 1. I'll upload the next of the question in part 2. That's it for today. And if you want to book one-on-one live classes or group live classes, just do that's written on the board. Thank you. That's it for today. Take care.